Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagam. Today we're going to talk about the Met Gala, but honestly, I was not impressed with the Met Gala this year. And before someone has a moan and says no one cares what you think, you're right. But if you're clicking on this video, you might just want to, see some like pictures and clips of the looks and stuff, and you might want to discuss it. I really hesitated this year to film a Met Gala video because normally I don't, only because I have to think the theme is interesting. And if I feel like people didn't stick to the theme, I personally lose interest in looking at the arrivals. And I think we talked about this in the YouTube live yesterday. If those of you joined the YouTube live, I had talked a little bit about like my views on the Met Gala and like how I kind of I don't know, like how I kind of, felt like about the Met Gala itself. So without further ado, let's get started on the theme of the Met Gala. So the theme of the Met Gala this year is Superfine Tailoring Black Style. It's in coordination with the Costume Institute exhibit with the same name. And the theme takes from the Black Dandy as its subject, examining the importance of clothing and style to the formation of Black identities in the Atlantic diaspora. This is super important because the whole point of the theme is that, like the content here said, is that it is examining the importance of clothing and style to the formation of Black identities in the Atlantic diaspora. So this means African American culture, Afro-Caribbean culture, Black British culture, Afro-Latino culture as well. But also, I definitely think like the ideas of the Black Dandy are also on the continent of Africa too. In lots of different countries, there is a strong sartorial influence of being an African dandy. That's definitely a thing as well. So that was the theme. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through the people's looks that I personally liked, okay? Because obviously it's my YouTube channel, Handies. I'm going to show you what I liked. And then I'll tell you the looks I like the most. There are only two people who I think did the theme, and they did it so beautifully in a way that I didn't expect. It's not who you think either. It's not who you think. And then at the end, we're going to talk about the business and the economics of the Met Gala, because as a businesswoman, I really enjoy knowing like the money element of this, like the way brands pay for tables, what decides what brands wear. And we're also going to quickly talk about the jewelry and the watches, because there were some really interesting timepieces in this. Okay, so let's get started with the looks that I liked. The reason why I want to focus mainly on the looks that I liked is because I feel like I don't want this to be like a negative thing where I'm like, oh, I didn't like how this person dressed or whatever. And it's not meant to shade someone. And I think also another thing is that when it pertains to style is very personal and it's very subjective. Everyone has a different view of what they think looks good. My style is very like girly and feminine, but I don't have to, one of the things I've always hated whenever I watch people's like fashion videos is when you watch people's fashion videos, there'll be someone in the comments saying, this isn't my style, but like, I really like that you did it. I hate that. Something doesn't have to be your style for you to like it. So I'm just going to tell you the things that I liked, whether it's my style or not, it's just what I liked. Okay, so let's start off here let's just start off with Rihanna. Obviously, she was at the event. She was wearing custom Marc Jacobs. It was really cool. I liked how the hands of the jacket became like the tails of the back of the suit outfit that she was wearing. I thought it was really cool. Obviously, she's pregnant, so she like clearly showed her baby bump at the event, which is really cool. She's so beautiful and so stunning. She would look good in anything. I think this was a really cool look. And I remember, like, obviously I just had a baby 3 months ago myself, and when you're pregnant, it's hard to dress for a pregnant stomach. It's hard to dress a pregnant stomach, and you're constantly thinking about how to like look nice when you're pregnant. I thought she looked really cool, really beautiful, and critically, it was on theme. Okay. And the idea of the Black Dandy, like in history, just to kind of add some historical context here, it's really important to note that the black dandy, it really came about, obviously, we know the history of the transatlantic slave trade in different parts of the world. But this idea of clothing as something that black people had to get permission to wear certain types of clothes. There was a point in time in the so-called New World where black people were not allowed to read, were not allowed to write. I don't know if you guys remember the film 12 Years a Slave that had Michael Fassbender, Lupita, of course, because that's where she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, Lupita Nyong'o, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. And it tells the truth. It tells the true story of this gentleman called Solomon Northrop, who was a free African American man living in one of the northern states. He was kidnapped and then sent to live as an enslaved person on a plantation in the deep South in America. It's a true story. He manages to escape being enslaved, and he ends up back in the north living as a free person. But he was an enslaved person for 12 years. So in the film, without spoiling it, in the beginning of the film, this doesn't spoil the movie, don't worry. You see Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays Solomon Northrop, and you see him in these really, really nice clothes. And when they kidnap him, they take off his nice clothes. It's this kind of, it's a very painful reminder of that clothing can be empowering, clothing can be beautiful, but clothing can literally enslave you. They take off his nice clothes, the people who kidnapped him, and they make him wear bad clothes because they wanted to dehumanize him and make him feel less than. So the idea of the black dandy is kind of reclaiming that power in the black African diaspora, where clothing can be a tool to celebrate independence, to celebrate freedom, and personal style as a kind of avenue to showcase one's independence, to showcase one's freedom from whatever issues are going on during the day, in addition to showing off your style. So I think that Rihanna looked super gorgeous. I thought she looked, amazing and beautiful. Obviously, A$AP Rocky's her, partner, her boyfriend, he was also there. He looks great, but I feel like his style is just always amazing. Like the pair of them are always amazing. So I just knew that they both looked great. There were a lot of comments on Instagram, people wondering why didn't they do the carpet together. I think she wanted him to get his shine because he was a co-chair. I believe, of this Met Gala. So I think that she wanted him to get his shine, which I think is really nice, so he can have his moment. So yeah, that's Ree. Okay, the next person I want to talk about whose look I liked was Zendaya. I think Zendaya looked really beautiful. She was wearing custom Louis Vuitton by Pharrell. It's definitely very 70s. It's like a 70s interpretation. Of the dandies, definitely very inspired by Diana Ross in Mahogany. This is really beautiful. I mean, Zendaya is actually stunning. I mean, I know that we know this. I know we know how beautiful she is, but she's actually gorgeous. Okay, so she looked really beautiful. I think that the hat really pulled it together. Someone else's whose look I loved is, of course, our East African queen, our Kenyan babe, Lupita Nyong'o, of course. And of course, she's wearing custom Chanel. Love the hat. The hat is so chic, so stylish. Love that it's this kind of mint green color. Love that she's playing with hair length. One of the things with Lupita is when she first came on the scene is she would favor more shorter hairstyles. Love that she came and surprised the girls and did braids. She's gorgeous. She's stunning. Obviously, she's from East Africa, so I was just excited to see her here. But yeah, she looked really beautiful, and she was in custom Chanel. Chanel had a good night because they did a lot of looks for this. The next person whose look I loved was Jennie, who is a superstar music artist from South Korea, and she's one of the faces of Big C. She was in this beautiful number here by Chanel. Love that she also wore a hat to this too. She looked really beautiful. What I liked about Jennie's look is you can tell that Jennie looked comfortable wearing this. With some of the celebrities, you can see that they looked really nervous. She's natural at this. She's a pro. She looked absolutely gorgeous. This actually respected the theme. This went with the theme of the black dandy. Okay, and again, the whole focus on clothing and style, and it's that signature Chanel black, the color that Gabrielle Chanel loved. Great accessories. This was a beautiful, beautiful look, and definitely one of the best looks of the night. The next person whose look I loved was Tiana Taylor. I thought she looked really, really amazing. And the one thing that I love the most about Tiana Taylor's look is that it was really true to her upbringing, because I think she is originally from Harlem, in New York, and there's so much of Harlem like in her look as well. And I think another thing about Tiana is that she's really beautiful, so I think it's easy for her to, I don't know. I feel like it's easy for her to look good in anything that she wears, because I've been looking at a lot of the things that she has been doing lately in terms of like she's been going to a lot of events. I think she's in a film with Leonardo DiCaprio very soon or something like that. And I thought that her look was sensational, and I think it's one of the very few looks of the night that truly I don't know. I just feel like it truly encapsulated like what the theme actually was about, which was the black dandy. Like she really looks like a black dandy here. And it is a custom suit that was designed by the real Ruth E. Carter and Tiana as well. Yeah, love this. I think this is like one of the best looks of the night. But like I said, I'll tell you at the end who I think had the best looks. But I just love this. I love the color. I think it adds a lot of femininity to her look too. She's having a really great year, and she's like everywhere right now. So it's been exciting to see her growth. The next person whose looks I liked, but I liked after they grew on me when I slept on it, was Coleman Domingo, who is of course an actor, and he wore Valentino. This number here is Valentino. And actually both of these outfits are Valentino. There were a lot of people commenting saying that they felt like he looked more like amazing in like the sort of promotions for this Met Gala, like because I think there was like a Vogue photo shoot, there was like an event where he wore this like purple suit. But I actually really liked his outfits after I heard him talk about like what inspired the outfit. So he, particularly with this blue Valentino like cape, he wore this because he said blue was his mother's favorite color, and he told ABC News that he has to take his mother with him everywhere he goes. I thought that was really heartwarming. And then I actually really love this suit, and many people I saw on Instagram were like, oh, I thought he was going to do more. I actually love this. I love that it's not doing too much and he's not trying too hard. This is also Valentino, and it's so him, like it really goes with his style. I think if you were unsure about his looks, think about it, because I slept on it, and then when I was getting ready to film this video I was like, I actually really love what he did. I preferred this outfit over the cape, but I love that he what was kind of really kind of sticking to the theme of style, because don't forget, style is personal. Style is not fashion file or reselling things, you know, to make money. Style is your innate sense of really just believing something that you really like. He also talked about this, I think at an event, and he said that he was really inspired by like his father and his stepfather when it pertained to his style. So I think we can really see that in his looks. I think he's one of also the few people where the theme really came easy to him, and you can really see that the theme, you know, comes easy to him. And again, I think that with personal style is personal. It should look personal, and I think that his second outfit with the suit, like it really looks personal as well. Okay, now I was really surprised at how much I love this person's look. Lauryn Hill, like Lauryn Hill looked really good. Lauryn Hill is, great artist. Obviously, love her music. You know, Lauren is a controversial figure on the blogs. People always dragging her, saying she's late to concerts, but honestly, she looks really good. She looked great here. She was wearing custom Chaney Chan official. Love the gentleman who's on her side with the umbrella. Yeah, this is wonderful, and it's very Lauren. It's very old school Lauren with the afro. She looks nice here. Looks really, really nice. The next person who I think looked nice was Brian Tyree Henry, the actor, who was wearing Orange Culture NG. This was really cool. This is definitely inspired by Andre Leon Talley, who was one of the like editors of Large at Vogue, obviously, who has since passed away. Many people were saying like they felt like, you know, he missed out on this, but yeah, this was definitely inspired by him. I think he's going to be in some like Apple TV series that looks really good. I think I saw a trailer on YouTube, and I was like, okay, I don't have Apple TV, but it looked really, really good. Someone else who I think had a wonderful Met Gala was the supermodel Adote Coates. She wore custom Swarovski. This is amazing. This is sensational. She looked absolutely stunning. I love this. And again, the theme, super fine tailoring, black style. This was wonderful. Love this. Everything about this was great. Love her hair and the outfit. And yeah, definitely something really nice. And Olivia Rousan also was there in Balmain, of course. And he wore this really cool bag. It's a bag that is a sewing machine. It says Balmain on it. That is really going with the theme, and that's what we want to see is people sticking to the theme. There were just so many people who didn't stick to the theme at all, and for me I was just like, okay, you need to actually stick to the theme. Someone else who I loved his look was Bad Bunny. His look was really really cool. It was very edgy, and it also was like connected to his Puerto Rican culture. I thought that was really nice. And again, one of the reasons why I really liked Bad Bunny's look is that it actually really, again, goes with that whole idea of personal style. So that's something else which I liked that he wore. So those were basically most of the looks that I liked. I just forgot the designer's name. I'll put the designer's name on the screen of the designer that he wore. Those are most of the looks that I liked. Honestly, with exception of those looks, I didn't really like a lot of the other stuff that was going on. Kimberly Noel Kardashian, honey, she was at the event. She looked like she was going to to be in the Wizard of Oz. Okay, it just didn't have anything to do with the theme. So for me, I was just like, a lot of celebrities didn't stick to the theme. I think I know why, because I think some celebrities feel like maybe sticking to the theme too hard would have had like accusations of like cultural appropriation or something. I don't know. But my two favorite looks, I'm gonna tell you now, the two people who I think for me were best dressed was Adote Coates in custom Swarovski. I think that is a superstar look. All three actually. Adote Coates in custom Swarovski, Jennie in custom Chanel. I thought she looked sensational, and Tiana Taylor in custom Ruth E. Carter, and she also helped to customize it too. I think those were the three best looks that I personally liked and that I thought looked really really nice. But in general, everyone looks nice. I think the key thing with this is like, it really, personal style I think should really like stand out, but so many people didn't stick to the theme. And because so many people didn't stick to the theme, you can really tell like who thought about this and who didn't. Now I wanted to quickly just mention some jewelry bits, because jewelry played a huge role in this as well. So I wanted to just quickly show you guys just some bits and pieces from jewelry. Jacob and Co. A bunch of celebrities wore some Jacob and Co. watches, like full of diamonds, full of baguettes. Cartier also had a bunch of celebrities wearing different Cartier like necklaces and watches as well. I think jewelry just plays a massive role. You know, if you look at this jewelry from Cartier and from Jacob and Co., like it really does help to pull a look together and to set it off. I was really surprised that the cast of Sinners was not at the Met Gala, like Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, and Ryan Coogler and stuff. I was really shocked that they weren't there, only because they have the film of the year, but obviously Anna Wintour is the one who Anna Wintour is the one who like handles the invitations. So those are just some of the watches and some of the jewelry that I thought really looked really beautiful as well. There's a lot to go through, so it's hard to like cram everything in, but that's how I felt about it. I think that with the Met Gala, it's like, because so much of this is like your personal opinion. You just like let me know what you think in the comments. But if I haven't mentioned someone who you like, please don't be offended. It's just, again, it is personal style. It's what people think in general of like if something looks good or not. But those were the three people who I thought looked the best: Tiana Taylor, Adote Coates, and Jennie. I think just looked amazing. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the sort of finances of the Met Gala, which I find super interesting. This is just some of the most interesting stuff about the Met Gala. So according to the New York Times, a ticket into the gala cost $75,000 in 2025. And that was the same price as last year. And so a table of 10 cost $350,000. And according to the Times, celebrities do not pay for their Met Gala tickets. So what will happen is a brand will pay, and the brand will pay for the celebrity. It's my understanding that the money is raised for the Costume Institute, and then obviously, it goes for that. So it says here, according to CBS News, the A-list event held annually on the first Monday in May to benefit the Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Art draws celebrities from the world of entertainment and business. So like they were saying here, brands will pay, so the $75,000. And normally what brands will want to do is they'll want to just like book a table for the celebrities. And according to CBS News, this year's Met is the first exhibit, the exhibit itself at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, devoted to exclusively to Black designers, and the first in more than 2 decades to focus on menswear as well. So yeah, I just think that this is super fascinating. The museum in February revealed the event's co-chairs and host committee, as well as its dress code tailored for you. So that's the dress code. So you have the theme, superfine tailoring black style, and then you have the dress code tailored for you. So yeah, I just think this is, I think it's just like, yeah, super, super, super cool. And then you had the co-chairs of the Met Gala, so A$AP Rocky, Coleman Domingo, Pharrell, Anna Wintour, and Lewis Hamilton as well. And one of the honorary co-chairs, one of the honorary chairs this year is LeBron James, who is a basketball player from the States. So I'd be super curious to know like what you guys think about everything in terms of the like financial part. What do you think about the fact that brands pay for the tables? I think it's really interesting because obviously it's raising money for the Costume Institute. There was some critique about this on TikTok. Some people were saying that it kind of it feels a little bit like that the people who are invited to the event can't really be creative because they have to wear the brand that has like paid for their seat. I mean, I think that's only fair. I mean, think about it. Louis Vuitton clearly have paid for like a table there, because if you go on their Instagram, they're showing all the celebrities who are wearing Louis Vuitton. But I think that's only fair. I mean, if you're the brand, if you're gonna pay for 10, if there's like a table for celebrities who have been invited to the Met Gala, and it's $350,000. And let's say that we own Louis Vuitton. Yes, I'm going to need all of you to wear Louis Vuitton because it's going to be photographed and shared, and shared all over the world. Why would I pay for your like ticket as a brand and pay $75,000, which is obviously a charitable contribution, and then for you to go wear another brand? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. Um, this is also super interesting here. One day before the Met Gala, a newer red carpet event, the Det Gala, will be held in Brooklyn. The event was founded to raise funds for organizations that relieve medical debt for people in marginalized communities. It has a theme this year: let them eat cake, ruined riches. Tickets cost $35. Okay, that's interesting, to promote their gala, to kind of take a little dig, at the main Met Gala. That's very interesting. So I wanted to know what you guys thought about the Met Gala this year. I mean, did you guys like it? What were your thoughts on the fact that many people didn't stick to the theme? And then I think the final thing I wanted to mention is Professor Monica L. Miller is a professor at Barnard College in New York. And she wrote this book called Slaves to Fashion, which is the genesis of Superfine. And I think Superfine is her next book. And according to this synopsis here, it covers 300 years of Afro-diasporic history, but in terms of fashion. So she was definitely a huge inspiration, and her work was a huge inspiration of this. And specifically, the theme is inspired by the work of Professor Monica Miller, a professor at Barnard College, and her book, Slaves to Fashion, Black Dandyism. And she is the professor and chair of Africana Studies at Barnard College. So it was definitely inspired by this magnificent professor and her work and her scholarly work and her book Slaves to Fashion. So just like kind of deciphering but also dissecting everything about the black dandy in the black African diaspora and how that image of the black dandy has looked different. One thing which I wish we could have seen more of, and maybe that this will be better for the exhibit, not necessarily the Met Gala red carpet, is the Congolese sapper movement, because that is definitely like a home that's definitely like a concept that's come from the African continent of the African black dandy. And these are like really well dressed people from the Democratic Republic of Congo and from Congo Brazzaville. And just for those of you unaware, there are two Congos in Africa. The big one is called the DRC, or in French, the RDC. And then you have a smaller Congo, also known as Congo Brazzaville, or the Republic of Congo. And there's a really strong like black African dandy movement there called the sapper, so you can go read about that in your own time. It would have been cool to see more of that as well, but I understand like on a red carpet it's hard to kind of get all of that together. So I think they actually did really well. There are a lot of other people also who wore black designers, and like I said, that I think that the event itself obviously wants to promote that, and the exhibit is also promoting black designers. And it's not easy, for black designers, to have their products seen, to have their products marketed. So this is a great opportunity. I think it's just that a lot of people didn't stick to the theme of the black dandy. Like a lot of people did not stick to the theme. So it's like, if you're not sticking to the theme, you're just kind of turning up because you were invited. And obviously Anna Wintour has the final say on who gets invited. What do you think of the Met Gala, you guys? I think this is going to be, I probably won't cover this again, only because I just feel like if the people invited are not going to stick to the theme, why bother if you're not going to stick to the theme? There are some people stuck to the theme this year, but many people didn't. So let me know what you think. If you like these videos, just do subscribe. It's really, really important to subscribe, you guys, because subscribing inspires me to continue filming and posting. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, obviously, and hit notifications and sign up for the newsletter. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you guys, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.